Hi, my name's Amy. I'm the Wellbeing Guru here at Health Solutions Group Australia, and I'm joined today by Rachelle, who's a support worker from Alliance Community. So thank you for joining me, Rachelle.
Pleasure.
First up, I'd just really love to know how COVID-19 has impacted your personal life and how you're feeling about life at the moment.
Well, being a country girl, I'm very positive for the future. I've really enjoyed this experience of having to stay home and minimise going out. It has affected my husband and I in a sense that we can't go out for dinner anymore. We can't go and visit our friends and our family. But it's what everybody else has had to do. So it's just readjusting your mindset. Being a positive person, it's always easy for me to switch my mind. But it's just ensuring that I keep my son, who's just moved home with me in December last year, and my husband busy with things around the house. So it's been great. It's been hard, but good.
Yeah. I think you've touched on some key things there. It is, there's good and bad. There's something nice about the simplicity of having to stay home and maybe do some organising and some things around the house that you haven't really got to. But then there's also the loss of those things that we really enjoy, like going out for dinners and all of that. So yeah, it's bittersweet, isn't it?
It is.
It's definitely different. And I think, mindset is so important in, making the most of this, because it is different, but we can definitely look to create some positive moments and create positive change within it.
And look forward.
Yeah, that's it, because this is not a forever thing. I think that's something I really like to remind myself when I get a little bit down on the current situation. It's not forever, it is going to end. So if we can just make the most of this time now.
Yeah, and hygiene, making sure your hygiene is really adhered to. I mean, I went to boarding school from when I was 11, so I've always been adhered to it, hygiene, but there's a lot of people in the world that don't look after their hygiene, and for me it's just a natural part of life, but for others it's good because it means that they are going to be hygienic to be around.
Yeah, and I think
when we open up again.
Yeah, a really positive change that will come out of this. I think that this is really putting it in the forefront of everyone's mind how important hygiene is, and I think some really good habits will probably come out of this. I think in more ways than just hygiene. Like, I was reading about a study after the SARS pandemic in Hong Kong. They were saying how people actually came out of it more connected to each other following being so isolated. So I think maybe, some of these new habits that we're learning in this strange time will carry on, and there'll be some positives to come out of this.
Yes.
What has helped you really stay resilient against the negative parts? Do you have any particular self-care routines that you do, or what helps you feel recharged and ready to tackle all of these challenges?
I'm not 100% sure because I'm a positive person anyway. So it's just getting out and making sure that people are cared for in a caring way, and to ensure that their house is sanitised when I go into these new places that I have to attend to, and just making sure that they are sanitised, both for me and the client, is really important, because it is overwhelming when you think about who could be around you if you have COVID. And luckily my clients don't and I don't.
Yeah, I think you've touched on something quite important there with how work has definitely changed, because of course, you're used to entering clients' homes to support them, but now there's that whole extra added barrier of making sure that everything is sanitized and everything's really hygienic. So that's obviously a bit of a change to the way that you work. Are there any other main ways that COVID-19 has changed the way that you do your job?
It's communicating clearly with the client and Alliance, to ensure that, we're all in this together, as, you're not so singular, you're not so on your own. communication is a key to, you know, resilience with people, because we all need to communicate. So being, you know, positive in the communication, and if you do feel down, then you can vent to your superior, and once you've vented, then you look at the bright side and just move forward, because that's all you've got to go on, because we're pretty low at the present moment.
So it's important that we all remember that we're all facing the same or similar challenges, and we are all in this together.
Yes.
That really helps. I think you mentioned before what you're finding really hard about it is the uncertainty of it all. And I think when we're faced with such uncertain times and uncertain situations, the only thing we really can do is focus on what's in our control. And I think the things that are in our control are things like your little behavior micro shifts and making sure that we stay on top of those, you know, the sanitizing and all that sort of stuff. And then also keeping on top of your mindset and, you know, reminding yourself that this isn't going to go on forever and things like that. I think they're the things that are within our power to change. There are a lot of things in this situation that we have no control over, unfortunately. But I think you always feel a lot better if you're doing things that are within your control. So I'd love to end on a bit of a positive note. What are you most looking forward to when all of this is over?
I'm going out for dinner. Catching up with friends.
Yes.
My husband wants to go to the pub to watch the football, and watch the football and have a beer with his friends.
Yeah.
But I just look forward to going out for dinner and catching up with my friends and together, and also separate. So we can have a bit of time away from one another, because we're always with one another.
Yeah.
And going to the country to visit my family, or going down the coast to Kiama and enjoying the fresh air and out of Sydney, because it's a bit overwhelming because I can't travel.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. It's nice to be able to get away. So definitely something to look forward to.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Rachelle, for joining me, and thank you for telling me what it's like at work and in your personal life at the moment, and for sharing your tips with other support workers. I'm sure they really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to anyone who's watching, thank you so much for listening to us. And if you'd like any more support and resources and articles, we're going to be updating the Wellbeing Hub frequently with new things that can help us in these challenging times.